Hi students, this is A. Srinivas, lecturer in physics, Vignan Junior College. Welcome to Vignan Digital Classes. Students, we are discussing waves chapter. We completed 3 videos of waves in which we discussed about the definition of waves and stationary waves. Now, we discuss about the sound waves. So far, we discussed about the transverse waves in strings as well as the standing waves formed by the transverse waves in the strings. Now today we totally concentrate about the sound waves. Here the contents that we are going to discuss regarding sound wave is sound waves, definition and characteristics of sound wave, velocity of sound wave, in medium velocity, the expression for velocity of sound wave, and stationary waves in open pipe, stationary waves in closed pipe, and resonance column operators. So let us move on to the first topic, the definition and characteristic of the sound wave. Here, sound wave is a vibration that propagates as an acoustic wave through transmission medium such as a gas, liquid or solid. Sound wave is generated by a source in vibration. A vibrating body produces a sound wave. For example, our vocal cords. Our vocal cord is the very good example for the sound wave. Under vibration, our vocal cord produces a sound. Similarly, any musical instrument produces vibrations, it produces sound, and it propagates as an acoustic wave. Acoustic wave means the propagation of wave in form of adiabatic compressions and rarefaction. While sound wave is propagating in medium, it undergoes adiabatic compressions. It is a quick transmission, quick way of propagation. So the process is said to be adiabatic process. So in form of adiabatic compressions and rarefactions, sound wave is propagating in medium. So that is said to be acoustic wave through transmission medium such as gas, liquid or solid. So sound is a vibration that propagates by the adiabatic compressions and rarefactions, and it may propagate in all 3 forms of matter. We know that solid, liquid and gases are 3 forms of matter. Through each form of matter, this disturbance is propagated. And here sound waves are a longitudinal mechanical waves. Here sound wave is a mechanical wave. It must need medium for this propagation. A mechanical longitudinal waves having range of frequencies 20 Hz to 20 kHz are called audible sound waves. We may produce sound wave of any frequency. Of course, our vocal cord has ability of producing sound in this range, but different vibrating objects may produce sound waves of any frequency, but the frequency of sound wave which lies in between 20 Hz to, this is 20 Hz to 20,000 Hz, sound waves of frequency of 20 Hz to 20,000 Hz are called audible sound waves. If the frequency of sound wave less than 20 Hz, this is the condition, less than 20 Hz are infrasonic waves. For example, elephant may produce infrasonic waves. During earthquakes, sound waves are generated during vibrations. That is also infrasonic. They have a frequency less than 20 Hz. Next one, longitudinal sound waves having frequencies greater than 20 kHz above the audible value are called ultrasonics. So this above 20 Hz is named as change this name. This is ultrasonic. Below 20 Hz is infrasonic, but this is ultrasonic sound waves. Ultrasonic sound waves are produced by some musical instruments and they have good application. Some electronically operated vibrating missions, produces ultrasonic sound waves. These ultrasonic sound waves are useful to calculate depth of a sea as well as to identify the position of submarines which travels inside the sea below the water, their location, they may be identified with the help of ultrasonic sound. And they are also useful to identify any holes or cracks, flaws present in solid material. These are some examples of ultrasonic sound. Even mosquitoes and rats may identify or detect ultrasonic sound waves. So next, let us move on to the characteristics of sound. We know that when sound wave is traveling, as we defined, sound wave is a longitudinal mechanical wave propagating in medium. Of course, while sound wave is propagating, it has some amplitude, it has some frequency and angular frequency, propagation constant. It also moves with some velocity, it possesses some wavelength for the given medium. So all these are terms in a progressive wave equation. Sound wave is also longitudinal progressive wave. So even for sound wave we use the same equation, y is equal to a sine omega t minus kx. Such a form of equation is also useful for sound wave. So sound wave have parameters like amplitude, frequency and omega. This depends upon the source. Velocity, propagation constant, wavelength. Velocity depends upon medium. So source and medium gives the values of the propagation constant and wavelength. Apart from this basic parameters of sound, there are another characteristics of sound wave. First one is the loudness. Suppose if I speak the sound, you may listen in up to certain loudness. If you use some electronic device, if you use the aid of electronic devices such as amplifiers, by using sound boxes or sound box or amplifiers, we increase the loudness of the sound to have more clearness in listening. So loudness refers to intensity. So the intensity of sound wave, already we calculated the intensity of a wave. Same intensity expression is also useful for intensity of sound wave. Intensity of sound wave is half rho omega square a square into v. Rho is the density of medium through which it is propagating. Omega is the angular frequency of source of sound. A is amplitude, v is the velocity. Then we know that the intensity is half rho omega square a square into v. This implies we conclude that intensity of sound is directly proportional to square of amplitude. This is the relation. Intensity of sound is directly proportional to square of amplitude. The loudness is determined by its intensity, which is proportional to square of amplitude. We increase the intensity by using some electronic appliances, by using amplifiers, sound box. We improve the intensity of sound wave. Loudness get increased. This is one characteristic. Second one is pitch. The shrillness or harshness. So from person to person, shrillness and harshness may change. Generally, female voice has more shrillness, male voice has more harshness. The voice may differ in shrillness and harshness. If suppose a person who is not visible to us, a person who is not visible to us, make a sound, we identify it is of female voice or it is of male voice. We distinguish them more clearly without seeing the person, just by observing the sound. This difference is available, identified by virtue of the pitch. Pitch gives shrillness or harshness, and the pitch is more for more frequency. Pitch of a sound is a characteristic, it is related to frequency. Pitch is depends upon frequency. For more frequency, pitch of sound is also more. So in general, female voice has more frequency as well as more pitch, more shrillness. Next characteristic is quality of or timbre. Quality of sound depends upon the number of overtones. Suppose if we produce a sound by using any instrument, it may be produced in so many loops. As number of loops increases, overtones also increases. So depending upon number of loops, the quality of sound or timbre varies. So these are the special characteristics of sound wave apart from the actual parameters of any wave. These are the characteristics or parameters of any wave. Apart from that actual parameter of any propagating wave, these are the special characteristics of the sound wave. So let us move on to measurement of sound level. So generally, sound level is measured in decibels. We have different sound levels. Suppose a dry leaf falls from tree, it produces very less amount of sound. It has less decibel sound. If a water drop fall onto the ground, it also makes very less sound. Suppose a musical instrument like a drum is beaten by the stick, it produces more loudness. So from instrument to instrument, from vibrating body to body, the value of loudness of the sound is changing, as I explained. A dry leaves or water drops makes or birds may produce very less sound. Whereas if you take some musical instruments or some human beings, we produce a sound of more noise. Or if you drag any bench along the ground, it may causes sound of more loudness. The loudness of the sound is determined in decibels. Sound level is measured in decibels. Decibels is the unit to measure the sound level. The sound level in decibels is given by a letter beta. Expression to find the sound level is 10 log I by I naught. I naught is the minimum audible sound in the order of 10 power minus 12 decibels. 10 power minus 12 intensity means watt per meter square. 10 power minus 12 watt per our ear may cause sensation of listen for a sound in the order of 10 power minus 12 watt per meter square. That is the audible range. Vibrated, our eardrum get vibrated and it can be identified by our brain for a intensity in the order of 10 power minus 12 integral multiples of 10 power minus 12 watt per meter square. That is I naught value. If any sound more than that is identified by our ear. Any sound having loudness more than that I naught is listenable for our ear. Therefore, the intensity sound level in decibels is given by comparison value, intensity compared to the audible minimum audible intensity, and the decibels value get from this formula. Beta is equal to 10 log I by I naught. Okay, if beta 1 is the intensity of sound and beta 2 is the sound level corresponding to intensities I1 and I2, here I suffix 1 is the intensity which produces beta 1 loudness in decibels. I2 is the intensity of sound which produces beta 2. I2 produces beta 2 intensity, I1 produces beta 1 intensity in decibels. Okay. Then beta 1 according to this above formula, here we have a formula. According to the above formula, beta 1 at I1 intensity is beta 1 is equal to 10 log I1 by I10. Similarly, at I2 intensity, beta 2 is written as beta 2 is equal to 10 log I2 by I1. Now take the ratio, take the subtraction, beta 2 minus beta 1 is equal to 10 common into log of I1 by I0. Here we write beta 2 minus beta 1 is equal to 10 log I1 by I0 minus log I2 by I0. So it is in the form of log A minus log B, which is equal to log of A by B. So it becomes log of beta 2 minus beta 1 means log of I2 by I0 minus log of I1 by I0. Then log A minus log B is in the form of log of A by B. So that we get log of I2 by I0 divided by I1 by I0. So it becomes beta 2 minus beta 1 is equal to 10 log I2 by I1. So for any intensity I, decibel value, intensity, loudness in decibel value is measured by this formula for any intensity I, when I0 is the minimum audible intensity. If beta 1, beta 2 are intensities corresponding to I1, I2, beta 1, beta 2 are loudnesses measured corresponding to intensities I1, I2, then difference in the intensities, difference in the loudnesses. This is difference in loudnesses is calculated by the formula 10 log I2 divided by I1. So this is regarding intensity of sound level. Next, velocity of sound. Here, when sound wave is propagating, it propagates in form of longitudinal mechanical wave. It needs medium for this propagation. When sound is propagating like this is a tuning fork. When it gets excited and vibrated, it produces sound wave, and sound wave is traveling, and this is the ear. We can able to listen this sound if it lies between 20 Hz and 20 kHz. Here in this animation you are observing this region has compression followed by rarefaction. The sound is propagating in form of longitudinal wave by making compressions and rarefactions in the medium. The molecules in the medium get compressed and rarefacted in form of compressions and rarefactions. The sound wave is propagating in the medium. Then for the propagation it needs medium. The medium has elasticity. The restoring force developed in the medium is producing compressions and rarefactions. The restoring force per unit area is also equal to modulus of elasticity. So modulus of elasticity is the main criteria for the propagation of sound. Hence the velocity of sound wave in any medium is given by square root of E by rho. Velocity of the sound wave in any medium is given by square root of E by rho, where E is modulus of elasticity. E is modulus of elasticity of the medium, and rho is density of the medium. These two are the factors belongs to medium. So velocity of the sound wave purely depends upon the medium through which it is propagating, and it is quite independent of source. So the velocity of sound wave which is propagating depends upon the medium. It is independent of vibrating objects. Whatever the source may be, source frequency may be, the velocity of sound wave depends upon the medium, and medium elasticity. This is modulus of elasticity and this is density. So depending upon that we have the expression for velocity of sound wave. Okay. Next one, the equation for velocity of the sound through solid medium, especially if you consider solid medium, like sound is propagated to iron rail or wooden block, table, like that, or any pillar. When sound is propagating through solid medium, for solid medium E becomes modulus of elasticity becomes Young's modulus. Y refers to Young's modulus of elasticity. Then V is equal to Y by rho. Rho is density in denominator. Y is Young's modulus of elasticity of the solid. It exists only for solid. Liquid doesn't have definite length. Gases doesn't have definite length. So they doesn't possess any Young's modulus of elasticity. Only the solids have Young's modulus of elasticity. Therefore, velocity of sound in Young's is given by square root of Y by rho. Whereas the equation for velocity of sound through liquid and gaseous medium. Liquids and gaseous medium has a bulk modulus of elasticity. So velocity of sound in liquid and gaseous medium is considered to be square root of B by rho, where B is bulk modulus of elasticity. Okay. Let us move on to the perfect expression for velocity of the sound in air medium according to Newton's formula and Newton's Laplace corrected formula. So Newton's formula of finding velocity of sound in air medium. Newton's assume that while sound is propagating in medium, Newton considered it the process of propagation as isothermal process. Newton's, according to Newton consideration, the process in which sound wave is propagating, the medium undergoes isothermal process. That is at constant temperature, isothermal process. For isothermal process, the modulus of elasticity is equal to atmospheric pressure. For isothermal process, the modulus of elasticity, that is bulk modulus of elasticity, is equal to atmospheric pressure. So replace B value in the velocity formula by bulk modulus by atmospheric pressure, so that the Newton's formula is given by V is equal to square root of P by rho. P is the atmospheric pressure in place of bulk modulus of elasticity by rho is density. We know that P and rho are constants for airy medium, especially P is atmospheric pressure 1.013 into 10 to the power of 5 Newton per meter square. Substituting the respective values, it becomes 280 meters per second. According to Newton's formula, velocity of the sound is 280 meters per second, but it doesn't match with the experimental value. Experimentally calculated value of velocity of the sound in air is 332 meters per second. There is a lot of difference between the calculated value, measured value, and theoretically expected value. So we can't consider the Newton's formula is correct to find the velocity of sound. Then Laplace made a correction to get the true value, actual value. That is, he assumed the adiabatic process in the propagation of sound. So he considered the sound is propagating in form of adiabatic process. Actually, while sound is propagating in medium, it makes these compressions and rarefactions very fastly. You are observing this animation. When sound is propagating in the medium, you are observing a group of the substances. This is group of the atoms in the medium making compressions and rarefactions, and these are making very quickly, so fast. That very quick process always considered to be in form of adiabatic process. So Laplace made a correction that the process is actually not isothermal, it would be adiabatic process. So that for adiabatic process, the bulk modulus of elasticity becomes gamma P, not pressure. Gamma times the atmospheric pressure. You know that gamma is the ratio, where gamma is the ratio of molar specific heat at constant pressure to the molar specific heat at constant volume. Gamma is Cp by Cv. By taking ratio, we get gamma value. It depends upon the nature of gas, monatomic in general pi by 3, diatomic 7 by 5. Like that, it depends upon nature of the gases. Then bulk modulus is gamma P for adiabatic process. Replace bulk modulus of the numerator by gamma P. So that velocity of the sound is square root of B by rho, gamma P by rho. This is Laplace corrected formula. It gives a true value. And we know that density, here mass is equal to volume by density. Mass is equal to volume by density. Density is equal to here mass volume by mass. So mass is equal to volume into density. We have this formula. Mass is equal to volume into density is mass by volume. Replace the density by mass by volume. So gamma PV by m. We know that according to ideal gas equation, PV is equal to nRT. Ideal gas equation. PV is equal to nRT. nR the number of moles of the given gas. R is universal gas constant. Capital T is absolute temperature of the gas medium. So nRT by m. So one more formula. Number of moles is equal to mass by molecular weight. Number of moles. So that the n by small m on cross multiplying, we get n by small m is 1 by capital M. So gamma RT by capital M. So actual formula of velocity of the sound is gamma P by rho, gamma PV by m. By using ideal gas equation, gamma and RT by mass of the gas also equal to gamma RT divided by m. And here with this formula we get velocity of the sound is equal to 330 meters per second. With this Laplace corrected equation, we get the theoretical value also 330 meters per second, which is exactly almost matched with the experimental value. So experimental value tally with this formula. That's why till now we are using the same formula to find the velocity of the sound. When you consider the relation between velocity of the sound with temperature, V proportional to root T. Velocity of the sound and temperature are related by V proportional to square root of absolute temperature. So that velocity of the sound at any temperature by 0 degree centigrade is square root of T by T naught. Therefore, square root of capital T is, suppose small t is in centigrade, small t plus 273. T is the temperature in centigrade plus 273 gives Kelvin value, and T naught is the 0 degree centigrade equal to T 273 Kelvin. V naught is the velocity of the sound at 0 degree centigrade, that is 273 Kelvin. So this is equal to 1 plus T by 273 whole to the power of 1 by 2. This is approximately equal to 1 plus x whole power n for value of x very less than 1 is 1 plus nx. By using that 1 plus 1 by 2 into T by 273, so approximately equal to T by 546. On cross multiplying we may find Vt or V naught. If V naught is known, we find Vt. Vt is equal to 1 plus T by 546 into V naught is the formula which gives a relation between velocity of the sound at 0 degree centigrade and T degree centigrade. From this, if we know the velocity of the sound at any room temperature, we calculate velocity at 0 degree centigrade also. So this is about the velocity of sound. So let us move on to the stationary waves formed in open pipe and stationary waves formed in closed loop pipe. This is the very important topic for both board exams as well as objective exams. A very important, very important topic. In board exams there is a possibility of getting as 8 marks question, a long answer question in open pipe and closed loop pipe, as well as it has plenty way of applications and very good number of problems. Already so many questions were given in JEE Main and as well as MCET examinations and IIT examinations. So open pipe, what is meant by open pipe? As shown in this animation, open pipe is a uniform cross section metallic pipe. A metallic pipe of uniform cross section in cylindrical shape, open at both ends. Let us look into this image in which the pipe is open at both ends. A metallic pipe of cylindrical shape of uniform area of cross section open at both ends is considered as the open pipe. Let us consider this open pipe of length L. Let length of this pipe be L. Let L be the length of this pipe. Okay, as shown in the image. This is the open pipe. As it is open at both ends, length of the pipe is L. Here at open ends, there is a possibility of free movement of particles. The medium, particles of the medium at open end has the possibility of free movement. Hence, always antinode is formed at free ends during its vibration. During the formation of standing waves, there is a possibility of getting antinodes because of free vibration, free movement of the particles at open end. Suppose a sound wave is sent in this open pipe from one end, it travels like this, reaches the second end. This is the sound wave, starts from here, travels here along this waveform and reaches the second end. At the second end, when it reaches the second end, suddenly the restoring forces get changes because it changes the position from pipe to open atmosphere. Pipe ends here. When pipe ends here, beyond this position, there is changing in restoring forces or pressures or density. There is change in density or pressures or restoring forces. That's why this wave which is propagated so far in this pipe under this constrained condition cannot propagate forward. So it gets reflected back from here. So this is the reflected sound wave. From this point we get a reflected sound wave. This is the reflected sound wave. Like this sound wave get reflected. This is the sound wave, start from this point and travels along this line and reaches this position. Okay. Here the pressures, restoring forces, densities get changes from inside to outside the pipe, so that wave is unable to propagate forward. That's why it reflected back. That energy of the wave get reflected back. So this is the reflected wave. You are observing this reflected wave. So we are now noticing two sound waves traveling in opposite direction. One is let it be downwards, another let it be upwards, having same wavelength, same amplitude, same frequency. Same amplitude, same wavelength, same frequency, sound waves in the pipe traveling in opposite direction superimpose each other and forms a stationary wave pattern known as these stationary waves or standing waves in the open pipe. So now according to this explanation, there is a stationary wave pattern inside the pipe. And one more thing, at each open end there is a free momentum of the particles. So displacement may have maximum value, so that antinodes of displacement antinodes must be formed at the open end of the pipe as shown in figure by having node at the midpoint. So for fundamental mode of vibration, here this is the condition. For fundamental mode we are getting this condition. So for fundamental mode of vibration we get this condition. So I am erasing these unwanted lines here. The fundamental mode of vibration, this is the diagram. In this animation you are observing. So this is for fundamental mode or first harmonic. Here this is for fundamental mode or first harmonic. So we write this one as first harmonic of open pipe. First harmonic. For first harmonic, stationary wave pattern formed in the open pipe as shown in the animated diagram by having antinode at free ends. Each antinode, there are two antinodes and one node at the midpoint. So that distance between two successive antinodes is lambda by 2, as this is the first harmonic, lambda 1 by 2. At the top and at the bottom, at each open end, antinodes are formed. Then distance between successive antinodes is lambda by 2, lambda 1 by 2. Therefore, we write lambda 1 divided by 2 is equal to L. Now, this implies lambda 1 is equal to 2L. Lambda 1 is equal to 2L. Then frequency of first harmonic is N1 is equal to V by lambda 1. N1 is V by lambda 1, that is equal to V by 2L. This is the frequency of first harmonic. Now comes to second harmonic, in which one more loop is produced in the second harmonic way of vibration. Let us consider the same pipe of same length. Let it be vibrating in second harmonic. Then one loop get increased compared to the first harmonic. So this is the situation. One loop get increased. So that this is antinode. Here also we have antinode. This is antinode. So it is formed, stationary wave pattern formed with 3 antinodes and 2 nodes here. So between these two successive antinodes, the distance between two successive antinodes is lambda by 2. Let it be lambda 2 by 2 for second harmonic. One more pair of successive antinodes here. Between these two also lambda 2 by 2. Okay. So total length becomes twice lambda 2 by 2. Therefore, in second harmonic of open pipe, second harmonic is also the higher frequency than the fundamental. That's why it is considered to be first overtone or second harmonic of the open pipe. Length of the open pipe is L. According to this formation, it becomes 2 lambda 2 by 2. 2 lambda 2 by 2. This implies lambda 2 is equal to 2L by 2. Then second harmonic frequency is N2, which is V by lambda 2. Replace lambda 2 by 2L by 2. So it becomes 2V divided by 2L. V by 2L is fundamental frequency or first harmonic. Then N2 is 2N1. Second harmonic is twice the first harmonic, hence it is also second harmonic. So twice the first harmonic is second harmonic, also first over. If one more loop is added in the next mode of vibration, it becomes third harmonic. If one more loop is formed in stationary wave pattern compared to this one, then it goes to the next harmonic. So in next harmonic mode of vibration, let us look into the diagram. This is the next mode of vibration. Let this vibration be third harmonic. Third harmonic. Look into the diagram. One more loop. Here one loop, two half loops are there. One more loop is added as shown in the diagram. Such a stationary wave pattern is the next harmonic, third harmonic. Also said to be second overtone. Second overtone or third harmonic is given by this one. In this, the length of the tube as usual, let it be L, same tube of same length. Observe the antinodes. Here we have one antinode. Here one more antinode at which here there is free vibration. This is one more antinode of maximum displacement. This is one more antinode. So distance between any two successive antinodes is lambda by 2. Hence this is lambda 3 by 2. Third harmonic. That's why lambda is represented by lambda 3 by 2. Here distance between another pair of successive antinodes is also equal to lambda 3 by 2. This another pair of antinodes are separated by lambda 3 by 2. So total length of the tube is twice the lambda 3 by 2. So 3 lambda 3 by 2 is equal to L. This implies lambda 3 is equal to 2L by 3. Therefore, frequency is third harmonic is N3, which is equal to V by lambda 3. So replace lambda 3 by 2L by 3. So it becomes 3V divided by 2L. This is N3, which is equal to 3 times fundamental frequency. Fundamental frequency is V by 2L. Now we get 3V by 2L, 3N1. So N3 is 3N1. So when you consider the ratio of harmonics formed in open pipe, ratio of harmonics, ratio of harmonics formed in open pipe is N1 is to N2 is to N3. Ratio of harmonics formed in open pipe N1 is to N2 is to N3 is equal to 1 is to 2 is to 3. So here we may write the expressions for open pipe. Suppose we would like to write pth harmonic of open pipe. For first harmonic 1 into V by 2L. For second harmonic 2 into V by 2L. For third harmonic 3 into V by 2L. Similarly, for pth harmonic, the frequency n suffix p is p into V by 2L. P into V by 2L. Where V is the velocity of sound, that is of course given by the formula in any medium square root of gamma RT by capital M. Okay. Then suppose I would like to find qth overtone. Qth overtone here. First overtone is second harmonic. Second overtone is third harmonic. So harmonic is one number more than the overtone. Harmonic is always one number more than the overtone for this open tube. Therefore, qth overtone is equivalent to q plus 1th harmonic. Qth overtone is equal to q plus 1th harmonic. Therefore, frequency of qth overtone is equal to V by 2L into harmonic number. Qth overtone is Q plus 1th harmonic, it becomes Q plus 1. Like that we write the expressions. So in case of open pipe, a pipe of uniform area of cross section, open at both ends, is known as the open pipe. When sound wave is sent into it, as the density suddenly changes, the wave get reflected back from the second end of the pipe. But there is a possibility of free momentum at the open end. Open end always possesses the antinode. This is the first mode of vibration, in which there are two antinodes at the each end, and therefore frequency becomes V by 2L. If one more loop increases in the next mode, second harmonic or first overtone, this is 2 into V by 2L, 2N1. In next mode, one more loop get increased, then third harmonic or second overtone, we get N3 is equal to 3 into V by 2L, that is 3N1. Then ratios of harmonics are integral multiples of fundamental frequency. Ratio of harmonics are integral multiples of fundamental frequency, we get it. And pth harmonic is P into V by 2L, and any qth overtone is Q plus 1th harmonic, so that we get it. Okay, students, in this session we discussed about the sound waves, characteristics of sound waves, and the way of finding intensity sound level by in decibels formula, and velocity of sound wave in any medium, followed by the stationary waves formed in open tube and frequencies of harmonics and overtones in this tube. Students, I hope you followed it very well. Thank you for watching, and thank you very much.